Are you a people pleaser like me? Like, do you have a fear of rejection? So recently, I attended this conference, this photography workshop, and it was like 3 days of amazing breakthroughs. And one of the things that I really want to share with you is something that I have struggled for such a long time, and I didn't even know that I had such a big problem. And I think, I think it was just the right time for me to open and be open and receive and to understand this thing about myself and really let it go. So the thing is that for the longest time, and didn't even know why. For the longest time, I've had this fear of making phone calls. Okay, I just do not like making phone calls, and especially to people I don't know. So part of the sort of process of what I do with photography, and like one of the most important processes is that the first step to getting new clients is to make phone calls. Like, so I need to actually talk to a person who I have most likely never met. Like, there's a 99% chance that I have never met them before, and I know nothing about them. And it's either they call me up and they go through an inquiry process and I explain to them what I do, or they have contacted me via Facebook or email or whatever, and I have to then call them up and explain to them about what I do, because it is really different trying to explain something over email and trying to actually explain to them on the phone, right? Because then you can really understand what a person needs, and you can kind of guide them and take it from there. But I've had such a huge problem with picking up the phone and making that first phone call. And it has cost me so much in my life, I kid you not. It has cost me clients. It has made me procrastinate and procrastinate and procrastinate and procrastinate. It has just brought this crazy fear within me that I can't even, I can't tell you how anxious I get. And why? It is because of the stupid stories that I have made up in my head that actually may not even be true. So I got on a call with this life coach who really dug deep, and she explained something called the CTFAR method, which is, so C stands for circumstance. So circumstance is something that can be proven in a court of law or whatever, right? It is a fact. Then there is the thought about the circumstance. So that thought is the one that then and what she says is thoughts are optional. So that thought is the one that then causes an emotional reaction in our body, and then we take an action based on that feeling, and then our result depends on that. So the circumstance basically does not cause the result, but it is the thought about the circumstance that causes the result, right? So with this method, I kind of went, okay, so the circumstance is that this process that I'm kind of doing requires me to make phone calls to give the best service, right? My thought around that is that I have a fear of rejection. I don't like making phone calls. They will reject me. They won't like me. I'm afraid of making a mistake. So these are all my thoughts around that. And so what that ends up doing for me is that it fills my body with this emotion of fear, of anxiety. And then the action that I then take is that I hide, I run away, I just procrastinate, I don't do it. And I start kind of moving backwards. And then the result is that I don't get a client. I don't get not just one client, because I repeat this over and over again. I miss out on 10s and 20 and 50 clients. I don't know how much of damage I have done in my business in this last 5 years because of the fact that I have not had the courage to pick up the phone and talk to a person. So what she kind of dug deep, and she says, okay, so you are saying that you have a fear of rejection, like you are afraid of the other person rejecting you. She said, when you have could it be that you are actually afraid of rejecting yourself? And that was an eye-opening moment for me, because that is the truth. Because what if the reason that I procrastinate, the biggest reason that I procrastinate, is because I'm afraid of how cruel I will be to myself if I fail or if I make a mistake. And that really blew my mind, because that is the truth. I am being so self-judgmental and so there's so much of self-rejection that I'm rejecting myself before I even make the phone call. I'm not even giving anybody else the opportunity to reject me. I'm just doing it to myself first, because I'm so afraid of that, and of making those mistakes. And like she just explained that if I'm afraid of making the mistakes, and I'm sort of afraid of blundering and kind of talking, or just goofing up, I will goof up because I'm so afraid of it that I have already talked myself into goofing up kind of thing. But she says, you as a mom, you should understand this. She says, if your child makes a mistake or goofs up, do you reject them? Do you beat them up for making a mistake? No, she said, you would encourage them, and because you know that it is a part of a process of learning. When we are children, we're given the grace to learn and to fall and to make mistakes. But when we are adults, we expect that we're never going to goof up anymore, that we're never going to, that we need to be perfect, and that we're never going to make mistakes. And that is not true, because it just means that you're not giving yourself an opportunity to learn. And learning is a continuous process, and it is something that is a forever process, no matter whether you're a child or whether you're an adult or whether you're on your deathbed. Learning is a continuous process, and we must always be willing to learn. So she asked me, are you a person who likes to learn? And I was like, yeah, I love to learn. She's like, then give yourself that grace. If you make a mistake on a phone call, that's okay. You call the next person, you will get better. And you call the next person and you will get better. And if you make a mistake, it is okay. So I'm now giving myself permission. If I stumble and fall, it just means that I can get up and learn from my mistakes and make it better. Mistakes are actually an opportunity. They are my biggest asset and will be a guiding light for areas of improvement. If I look at the successes in my past, a lot of my mistakes can be counted as my successes, because if I hadn't made those mistakes, I would not have known to pivot and to learn and to kind of move on from there, right? So I am giving myself permission to call myself, to embrace all parts of me. I'm a successful entrepreneur. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Kiwi. I'm an Indian. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I have ADHD and a neurodivergent brain. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter, a musician, an artist, a photographer, a speaker, a writer, a thought leader, an intellectual. And I love and I embrace and I wear all my hats with love and humility, unapologetically. I choose to shine my light. And I hope that this episode has inspired you and helps you to choose to shine your light too, whether you make mistakes or not along the way, and just take all of it as a learning opportunity. Get up and keep going forward. You don't need to be perfect. You are a child. You're a child of God. Have a blessed day. God bless you. And sending you lots of love. Share this episode if you like it. And I'll see you next week. Bye.